Hey, it's Kevin. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's another No BS social media chat. This week, we're going back to the basics. We're probably going back to looking at a topic that we've touched on so many times. And the reason we touch on it so many times is simply because there are still so many people who struggle with it. In fact, I had two meetings this week where when we were talking about social media, and they weren't necessarily social media meetings. They weren't about social media clients. They were just meetings about business and the music business and small business and entrepreneurship, and social media came up, and we got to talking about social media. And both of these meetings this week said darn near the exact same thing the same way on different days, and they didn't even know each other. And that was, I understand social media is important. I just don't know where to start. And while I would say it surprises me, it actually doesn't. I mean, granted, I've been doing the social media thing now for over a decade, and it seemed very logical to me because it was an extension of really the way I approached radio. As I was telling somebody, for a lot of years they said any good radio disc jockey promotes or works on his show and puts in 2 hours worth of work for every 1 hour of show. Now, in reality, I only spoke 5 to 10 minutes at a time, because you're doing short little clips on the radio when I was on the radio, unless you're doing a morning drive DJ show or something like that. So really putting in 2 hours of preparation for 1 hour's worth of show, a little bit of overkill. And years ago, I came up with the process of what I called life is show prep. And I think when I started moving into the social media world, the same thought process took over, because everything you encounter in life can be thought of for social media. Everything you come in touch with, everything you think can be about social media if you really stop and think about it. And again, I said one thing with people in social media, they don't often think about it, and they don't often want to think about it, and I understand that. But if you're going to go from being just a casual Facebook user or someone who enjoys Twitter or likes to post a picture on Instagram to somebody who is using it to build their company, their personal brand, whatever it is, and again, while I work with media people and I work with music people and I work with small businesses, it doesn't matter what you're using it for, you can figure out a place to start. And the way to start is simple. And this goes back to one of our first things, again, we talked about in probably the first 2 or 3 episodes, and that was give me 3 somethings a day. And as I told them, focus yourself, target yourself to say, okay, I've got to do this 3 times a day. So give yourself 5-10 minutes in the morning, 5-10 minutes around lunchtime, and then 5-10 minutes in the evening, at night, whenever, when you're going to post something, comment, respond, engage in social media, engage with your existing fans, followers, and friends. And again, I don't care if it's on Twitter, I don't care if it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, it could be Snapchat, it could be mine. It doesn't matter what social media platform. You know what? If you want to, go back to MySpace. I was actually in MySpace the other day doing some work, looking at some old stuff, and forgot just how far we've come from MySpace. But it doesn't matter where you're doing it. It's a matter of getting in the rhythm, getting in the routine, getting into the process of making it a part of a process. Everything I encounter, every lunch I eat, every meeting I have, it triggers something for some social media content, whether it's right then or down the road. And I keep copious notes. And I know it kind of takes it out of being fun, because in all honesty, I tell people, I do have fun with social media. Much like my job, it's not fun, it's work. And social media, if you're going to use it to build your professional career, has to be a little work into it. Now, it can become obsessive. It can become something that you spend way too much time focusing time and effort on. And I'll be the first to admit, I struggle with that every day in doing social media, not only for my clients, but for myself. It becomes all-consuming. And at the end of the day, does it really matter? No, your personal relationships with your family, your friends, your loved ones, your inner circle, real people, that's most important. Being able to put the phone down, put the computer down, put the tablet down, whatever it is first and foremost. But don't for a minute think you can't be preparing something down the road, that you can't be thinking up something or using something. And I use the old analogy with an old artist I worked with. He had a hard time with social media, and I said, well, we were at lunch at a little sub place in Nashville. I said, take a picture of your ham sandwich and just say, hey man, this is the greatest ham sandwich I've ever had. And he just thought I was crazy, and he did it. And within minutes, he had a little bit of a fan base going. He was a little independent artist. He had, 50 likes on that post and had about 20, 30 comments. And he was just stunned. And I said, it's that simple. You don't have to make it brain surgery, because social media isn't about brain surgery. It's about people connecting. And it's about you connecting one person at a time. And whether you've got 1,000 people following you or 10,000 or 100,000 or whatever it is, it's still a one-on-one connection. And the key, as I've always said, back and forth. Don't just put it out there and expect to get back. You got to give and you got to take. You got to comment, you got to get engaged, you got to care about other people. Spend more time liking other people's posts. Spend more time commenting on other people's stuff. It'll come back to you tenfold, and it's someplace to start. But again, 5-10 minutes in the morning, 5-10 minutes in the midday, 5-10 minutes at night. There's your place to get started. Another place to get started. Come back again next week with another No BS social media chat. In fact, go through the archives here. We've got 100 plus videos. You can find some good stuff, some good free information to help get your brain engaged for social media. Because if you're not doing it now, boy, you're way behind the times, aren't you? And I know people are still struggling with it. Again, I see it every week. We'll see you hopefully next week for another No BS social media chat. My contact information, if you want to reach out, whether it's by phone, by email, whatever it is, it's coming up. Thanks.